Looking at the scorching sun outside and your shadow, you could probably be able to guess what time of the day it is. Ancient civilizations used this technique not just to find the time, but also the position of the sun, and using that, many other natural phenomena. They did this by studying the proportionality of similar triangles. Today we are going to talk about the study of triangles, trigonometry. The word trigonometry originates from two Greek words, trigonon, which means a triangle, and metron, which means to measure. The Babylonians were the first to start studying the proportionality of similar triangles. Astronomy was its driving force since it gave them various celestial distances. Later, their studies were directed towards trigonometric ratios, which they etched onto clay tablets around 1700 BC. Rind Mathematical Papyrus, a documentation of ancient Egyptian mathematics, has some illustrations about the use of trigonometry in the construction of pyramids. Sect is an ancient Egyptian term for the inclination of the triangular face of a pyramid to its base. Since the notion of trigonometric functions as ratios was not invented back then, they calculated this in measures of length. This is proportional to the cotangent of the angle of elevation from horizontal. Ancient Greeks considered chords as the basis of trigonometry. Hipparchus of Bithynia was considered to have sowed the seed that sprung modern trigonometry. He considered any triangle as one inscribed inside a circle. So the sides of triangles were chords of the circle. Hipparchus calculated the length half of the chord as the radius times the sine of the angle formed while joining the endpoints of the chord. In this way, he constructed a chord table for various angles which gave light to major developments in the field. Later, once the trade routes were established from Greece and Rome to the Indian subcontinent, these theories had a great influence on Indian mathematicians who also used chords as the base for defining what we call sine today. One of the first books written about this in India was Paitamaha Siddhanta in the early 5th century. Later, Aryabhatta in his book Aryabhatiyam used a similar technique of ardhajya, which means half chord. This became sine in Latin when it was translated through Arabic. As you can see, most of the ancient studies defined sine as the basic trigonometric ratio. The cosine ratio was defined when the sine of the complementary angle was to be calculated. Later, the other trigonometric ratios were also defined. Until next time, keep learning, keep imbibing.